Morning, folks. The day's finally arrived for phase 2 of our Back to Eden gardening. I've finally got the greenhouse beds out. I've taken apart all of the raised beds that I've put in the last couple of years. And I'm ready to roll this hay out into the greenhouse behind me. So let's see what happens. Push! As you can see, we've got one roll partially unrolled, and the next step is to sort of fluff out the straw, because it's in these sort of matted sheets, and we don't want it to be too matted where water won't get through. So as you can see, I am by proxy having the straw that we rolled out fluffed up. Of course, we didn't film step one. Step one is actually getting the hay bale rolling, and then you bring it in and you cut the wrapping off. Of course, the cows and the horses had already unwrapped this one partially. I didn't get the film for that one. Too bad we couldn't get the cows and the horses to get the hay bale moving for us. I guess maybe I should watch a Amish YouTube video, if there is such a thing, on how to harness the cow to the hay bale. But anyway, this is step 2, or step 2A. Alright, again, we, and by we I mean they, are going to roll the next batch. Alright boys, heave ho! And it goes just like that. Good job, boys. And then here she comes to say, what can I do to help? Good girl.
Come on, keep going, the other girl.
Naturally, the minute I turn the camera on, she stops. She's camera shy. Come on, push it.
Oh!
She's trying, but I need to channel her energies in a more useful direction. Come on, sweetie, you can do it. Push. Oh, yeah. Cows don't have the world's greatest attention span. As you can see, it's as easy as that. Unroll it. As you can see, we've got most of the greenhouse finished now, but I want to take this time to show you what's been happening under this straw, even with just the few weeks that it's been down so far. As you can see, the exposed dirt, the last little bit that we haven't covered with straw yet, this stuff is, well, it hadn't had any water on it all year long. The Avon irrigation system, we have this nice plastic raincoat over it, so it is just 100% dust. However, let me show you this over here. This area has been covered for about 2 weeks now, and if we dig way down under here and reach down in number 1, I can feel it's a lot cooler. Matter of fact, this is probably a good 20 degrees cooler than the ambient air. The grass, the dirt, and again, this has not been watered at all, but number 1, you can see it's not dust at all, and you can feel there's some moisture in it. Matter of fact, I can almost get it to clump up, almost. And this is just from covering it with straw. Haven't added any water to the greenhouse at all, and we haven't had any rain in a month. So just by covering it up, we've actually managed to preserve some ground moisture. Well, let me show you what I've had covered up for about, again, this has been covered up for about 2 weeks. Let me show you a spot where it's been covered up for about a year. As you can see, this pile of straw is grayer and has a more dull color than this. This was put down about 2 weeks ago. This is from our new straw bales. This was actually a straw bale that I bought last year, and this is the remains of it that's been sitting here for a year. Again, this is straw, not hay. This is, I believe this is wheat straw. It could be rice straw. This is straw, not hay. There's a big difference. Anyway, this has been sitting here for about a year. Mostly, this purpose has been for a mow and doe to scratch on. They actually had scratched it all the way where it was scratched the center. It had a kind of a mushroom shape to it. Anyway, long story short, if we reach up under here, and again, no rain here for at least a month. Reach up under here, it is wet. It is muddy, it is clay, and you can see this is just straw, and this is turned into compost. And you can actually come a little closer, Mr. Cameraman. All right, as you can see, the layers here on this outside, you got just plain old dry straw, and then right about here, maybe an inch, 2 inches down, it starts getting moist. And the further down you go, it's getting more moist, and now down here, this is actually starting to break down. This is turning into mush. And again, this is compost, but it's just plain straw. There's been nothing done to it. And as you get down here at the very bottom, you can see that there's some worms activity right there. That's exactly what you want to see in the Back to Eden garden. Actually, that's what you want to see in any garden, is worms. This is just perfect compost. It's been, and all I've done, honestly, is neglected. I just left it here, sitting here for a year. Now, I'm sure at some point the cows fertilized it, shall we say. But this is what Paul talks about in his Back to Eden garden, that all you got is organic material and rain and time, and it turns back into, you know, God is wonderful. God designed it to happen this way. For those of us who can't find wood chips, I believe that straw or even hay or even grass clippings may be a viable alternative. Anyway, what I'm going to do next is put a sprinkler inside my greenhouse. Get the ground nice and moist. Go ahead and replenish that groundwater level that's been depleted for the last 6 months or so. The rain has been just almost non-existent in the summertime. So there's been no, even though I don't get rain in it, there's been no water infiltration up underneath. Get the water moisture level back up to where it needs to be, and then I'm going to plant just directly into that straw, and we'll give you video updates on that. So for now, Back to Eden garden step 1A looks like it's coming along. Y'all take care.